As a true whiskey nerd, or, a student of the game, as you would, I always get really, really excited when I come across a unique whiskey or bourbon. Not necessarily super old or super allocated, but unique. And that's what we have here with this Red Cedar Outlander. Roll the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. I am your host, T-Rod. If you knew that, gold star. If you didn't know that, well, hey, welcome to the channel. We're glad to have you here. So, every once in a while you come across a bottle that is just it's cool, unique, it tickles your autism a little bit, however you guys want to say it. If you're a whiskey geek, you want to find that cool, funky, weird, kitschy, cool stuff that maybe your buddies haven't found yet, but you also want it to be good, because if it's trash, everybody just looks at you like a weirdo. Like, oh God, yeah, you drink that super interesting triticale whiskey that tastes like sewer water and grapes. But fortunately, I do not have that problem today, because today I am drinking the Red Cedar Spirits Outlander. Now, this is a single barrel cask strength edition of the Outlander, but what it is it is a bourbon that has oats in the mash bill, as you may have guessed by the name Outlander, right? One of the cool things about the Red Cedar single barrels is all the information is right here on the side. So anything your little heart desires is readily accessible, or most of it. So this was barreled in November of 2015. It was bottled in June of 21. So about 5 years, 7 months. It gives you a barrel number, batch number. We're not going to get into all that because it really doesn't mean all that much. It is cask strength at 127.3 proof. And this was actually a single barrel from the Brotherhood of the Barrel. Picked this up at the Wine Garden like 3 or 4 years ago. You can tell I've gotten a little into it, but I've also tried to preserve it because I have only ever come across a single barrel cask strength of this once. And for those of you who know the Wine Garden, Big Tony runs a tight ship over there. And I asked him, hey man, is this any good? And he said, if that's not one of the best, most interesting whiskeys you've ever had, my name isn't Big Tony. So I take that in pretty high regard, and I bought a bottle, and I wish I would have bought two. This one actually moved pretty quickly, but this is what Red Cedar has to say about it. Red Cedar reserves a portion of its aging Outlander bourbon to produce a cask-strength bourbon with one of our most popular spirits. Outlander bourbon is a smooth, hearty bourbon that is unique even though it is made with two of America's most well-known grains, corn and oats. At cask strength, Outlander's flavors provide an amplified and comforting experience. Red Cedar's product line demonstrates our expertise in craft-style processing, where every drop of our whiskey is made from grain to bottle in our distillery. So this isn't sourced, this isn't bought someplace else and brought in to be aged or anything like that. This is grain to glass right in East Lansing, Michigan. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Lansing is the capital of Michigan, but East Lansing is like right about here. Yeah, that's how we do it here in Michigan. We just throw your hand up, but it's right about here. You're talking maybe a 5-minute drive from the Capitol building. It's also the home of the greatest college in the United States, which is obviously Michigan State University. Go Spartans. But I got to believe this is cut with water from the Red Cedar, which is kind of the name behind it. Now, they do offer some regular shelf products at 80 proof. Not as big a fan of those. However, this one, very much a fan. I think a lot of their distillates shine at cask strength. And they've done some cool stuff over the years too. They've got, this is a 10-year-old popcorn whiskey. That's pretty cool. Only available in the distillery and the 375s. They also did a 10-year-old Mitten Reserve, which I think I bought this thing like a year and a half ago, and I still have not gotten into it, but it's also 10 years old. A little cloudy, a little interesting. They're both a little cloudy and interesting, but regardless. So we are going to get into this one. And we're going to find out just how good it is. And I already know that it's good, but you guys are going to find out with me. So already, it's got a really nice dark color to it, almost like a little bit of a reddish hue to it. Really nice, like a burnt bronze or an oil rubbed bronze kind of look to it. Super viscous in the glass. And I remember I gave this to a friend years ago. And Matt, if you're watching, I really hope that you recall that moment. But we were in my other speakeasy at the old house, and he said that that was unlike anything else he had ever had before. And that's pretty on brand with what the Outlander does. So, going for a nose. Ooh. There's a little bit of a graininess, but there's also like some raisins and some toasted oak. Red fruits. It's like a faint sawdust quality that is kind of like circling, but not like super front of the nose. There's like almost like a slight tannic like scent. I don't know how else to describe that. Tannic. Tanniny? I don't know. Very interesting nose. A little bit of leather sneaks in there as well, like a tanned leather. All right, well, going for a pour, or sorry, we already poured it. I don't know what I'm saying. Going for a sip. Cheers. Ooh, a little warm. Oh, we're not going to try and pull any notes on this one because it does hit a little bit hotter than its proof, I think. Fun fact about Red Cedar, they actually did have a distillation program with MSU at one point, and I think the contract on that ran out and they both kind of agreed to go different ways on it, but still pretty cool that a college program was using a distillery in town to teach their students the art of distilling. All right, let's try and pull some notes out of this bad lad. Okay. Brown sugar, molasses, oatmeal, like an oatmeal quality to it. That oak is definitely there. There's I don't know, it's like a cinnamon or nutmeg or some type of a spice there that I'm not getting all of. Like a stewed dates maybe, and just a like a drop of like a weird black tea kind of note on the very end. But it actually, for the most part, it's a very dark and very well coating pour. This is something where if you have one, you're probably going to want to sit down with it and just kind of dive into it and go through it at length because, honestly, there's a lot to unpackage here. There is. I think this is a really good pour, and it's one of my favorites. If for no other reason than, it's cool. It's a talking piece. Mm-hmm. This is one of those pours that makes you want to start talking about whiskey when nobody asked you about whiskey. You just want to share it with the world type deal. Yeah. Oaky, like stewed stone fruits. It's like a burnt brown sugar with molasses. So it's got a nice mix of like a little bit of grainy notes with the oatmeal in there, and then it's got some sweetness, but it's also got some darker fruit kind of notes. Like it's a complete palate, and you could probably let this open up, maybe add a drop of water or two, and get some deeper tasting notes out of this. If I had to give it a score, 7.2. 7.2. Pretty good. The uniqueness factor definitely helps it out. What doesn't help it, though, is the unavailability or unobtainium of this. Like I said, I've seen one single barrel of this in 5 years. And I bought one, wish I had bought two, but I only got the one. I heard that a Total Wine got one, and they sold out extremely quickly. So, yeah, when this is gone, I don't know when I'll be able to replace it. If I come across another one, I'll absolutely buy it. I think the proof is great. I think the color is fantastic. I think it spends the right amount of time in the barrel. If I had to be critical of anything, I would say, maybe let it age a little bit longer, see if that helps kind of mellow it out, because it does punch a little bit hotter than its proof would suggest. I know 127 is pretty hot. If I was guessing this blind, I probably would have guessed like mid 130s. But honestly, even then, the edges aren't that aggressive. There's not that much there to round out. So that's it, guys. If you see one of these, I would definitely recommend grabbing it up. I think this is an incredibly unique bottle. I think it would be an awesome addition to anybody's collection. You should definitely buy one. But that's all I have to say about that. It's almost football season, so since we're talking about Red Cedar and East Lansing, go Spartans, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.